My name is Ben Davis, and I am a Senior Systems Engineer at Gadellnet Consulting Services. I work on the server escalation team, and my responsibilities include working tickets that our first level of support can't solve, providing consulting services to clients, and completing server implementation projects for clients. My interest in computers started back in the dark ages, also known as the 80s, typing in programs from the back of 321 Contact magazine into Apple IIe computers in my elementary school classrooms. By high school, I was building my own PCs and found the most interest in hardware architecture, from what made one CPU faster than another, to comparing different hard drive response times and spindle rates, to the difference between ISA and VESA local bus expansion card types. This led me to Purdue University as an electrical computer engineering major with the goal of designing microprocessors. After 3 years in that major, with 2 co-op internships at Intel Corporation, I decided that I really didn't enjoy designing at that low level, as I was learning so much about the electricity and all the calculus that was necessary to work all those formulas. I could also tell from my internships that the people I worked with really didn't seem to be making a big impact on anything tangible, dealing with the design of a microscopic part of silicon wafer. I really loved the layer that I had been dealing with since high school, assembling, troubleshooting, and designing hardware systems to enable cool applications to run on them. Since Purdue wouldn't guarantee me a spot in that major, I cut my losses and went to Ivy Tech and got an associate's degree in computer information systems. A fellow Ivy Tech student referred me to my first job, a local ISP doing phone tech support for dial-up internet customers around the country. This, along with my Intel experience and 2-year degree, allowed me to land my first full-time gig as the manager of information systems at a small credit union in Kokomo, Indiana. I spent 4 years there improving their internal processes, implementing new technologies, and performing a banking system conversion from a mainframe platform to an x86-based platform. There I really learned the joy and satisfaction of helping people by being attentive, asking good questions, gathering data, researching, and providing solutions to their individual struggles. One interesting memory I'll share is that during the banking system conversion, we switched from dot matrix printers to inkjet point-of-sale receipt printers. I half-jokingly suggested to the CEO that we take one of the repossessed vehicles and line up the old printers and play demolition derby as a show of our affection for these ancient devices. After a surprisingly short amount of consideration, he said, "Sure, let's do it." Here is proof that it happened. My favorite story on landing a job was when I decided to be less formal in my cover letters and be more real. I got several comments on these passages of this cover letter in the interviews on how it captured their attention and wanted to have them meet me. Quote, "I have made a lasting footprint on those organizations, made people's working lives easier and more productive, and had a blast doing it. There's nothing like figuring out how to use a new technology and make it work for your business. The woohoo, look what I figured out moment is what I look for every day I go to work." I go on to match my experience with the skills they are looking for in detail. The next paragraph is, quote, "No doubt that you want someone who wants to continue learning the latest and greatest technologies in order to make you more productive. And I am always up to the challenge of acquiring these skills. You are looking for someone with exceptional problem-solving skills, and anyone who has ever worked with me could testify that I possess these. I understand the importance of systems uptime in a manufacturing environment, and that just an hour of downtime could cost thousands in lost productivity. I finish out by tying in that I want to move back to my hometown where this job is, and that I think this is the one that will lead me home. Has this approach worked every time since then? No. You will apply for hundreds of jobs over your career, and you will only get interviews for a small percentage of them. You will interview for tens of jobs over your career, and will only get hired for a small percentage of them. Bring your whole self, be honest, and don't be disingenuous. When I have been successful, honesty and enthusiasm have always been a key part of that formula. I've had many jobs since then. IT can take you to many kinds of businesses. My first 2 were in financial services. The next 3 were in manufacturing. And my last 2 were in consulting to all kinds of businesses. I've managed banking systems where your money is kept, deployed servers in massive co-location data centers, configured multi-site networks across forge and machining plants, built virtual server infrastructures for a major US auto plant that controls miles of conveyors and robots, automated the migration of hundreds of SQL databases between data centers in different states, and helped individual users fix their printers. All of these jobs require a central set of skills. These are, number 1, networking. How does TCP/IP work? How does this application or system or device communicate with this other application or system or device? What are all the steps the communication takes? What translations or conversions are made in between? Number 2, the scientific method of problem solving. Did this ever work? If so, what changed? Is there an example of this working elsewhere you can review to know what a good configuration looks like for comparison? Change one thing at a time so you can identify the problem. And finally, third and most important, how to search for information. Your Google foo is key to being able to find the answers. Just because you are a credentialed consultant doesn't mean you won't be faced with new problems often. In IT, most problems you encounter on a daily basis are new. You likely have relevant experience to compare to, but more often than not, you are going to have to learn how something works and how to fix it every single day. Learning how to find information quickly is the most important skill I can identify. If you want to be in IT, you have to love learning and problem solving. Don't expect to learn everything you need to know in college and coast for the rest of your career on that knowledge. You want to come to work every day excited to solve problems and play with new technology. You will go to training courses every year for products and technologies to try to keep up to date. Don't get discouraged with trying to keep up to date. No one person can keep up with everything in IT. Everyone in IT is trying to absorb as much information as possible to be able to solve problems, formulate new ideas of how to run your operations better, and plan for changes to the systems with as little impact to people and processes as possible. While the never-ending learning can be at times exhausting, that is also this field's greatest strength. You will never be bored. Good luck in discerning your career. Remember too, just because you choose one career path out of high school doesn't mean you're stuck there. I was so sure I was going to complete my engineering degree and build CPUs for Intel or AMD. But I got to know myself better over time and determined, no, that's not really what I want to do. And 2, 5, 15, 30 years later, maybe you want to change to something else. With so many learning resources online today, you can change course easier than ever. I'll leave you with an interesting statistic. Out of all the people I've worked with in IT, only maybe 20%, and that's high, of them have a formal education in IT. People end up here from all professions, from marketing, philosophy, the military, teaching, and many others. Most of my colleagues came here from somewhere else. Thanks for your time and take care.